So, in the Bourne franchise, this is the fifth movie, the fourth one starring Matt Damon, the third one directed by Paul Greengrass, the second one in the 2010s, and the first one that I have seen. Jason Bourne is directed by Paul Greengrass and it stars Matt Damon along with Alicia Vikander and Tommy Lee Jones, and it is the fifth movie in the Bourne franchise. I've heard great things about these movies and I am now interested in watching the rest of them, but because I hadn't seen any of them, I didn't want to watch them before watching this because I felt like I would be comparing them to this movie. And I've done this sort of thing before while watching the Mission Impossible movies where I hadn't seen all the Mission Impossible movies before I saw this last one. And I ended up really enjoying the last one because I just saw it as a movie and it set up the characters very well and I had no problem understanding what was going on. So I felt like I could get away with that and do that with this movie, and I was pretty much right about it because the movie sets up Jason Bourne right away in the very beginning of this movie. It basically just shows clips from the other movies and sets up the story that has taken place beforehand, and then we're introduced to the Matt Damon character now, Jason Bourne, and he is somebody that is not to be reckoned with. You do not want to mess with Jason Bourne because he will mess you up. At this point, he is basically just somebody that is wandering the earth, knowing what has happened to him in his past, but he is not quite happy with who he has been. So he still wants to find answers, and that's where Tommy Lee Jones and Alicia Vikander come in. They work for the company that he's trying to take down. Alicia Vikander and Tommy Lee Jones find out that he's still alive, so they want to find him. So they're going after each other. There's a lot of action, and then craziness happens, and that's the movie pretty much. What I'll say about this movie right away is that I was a little bit worried about not knowing anything because the movie kind of sets up things in the beginning where I feel like you kind of have to know what's going on to really grasp what's happening. But after a while, the story becomes its own story, and I had no problem following along with what was happening. That's not to say that you didn't have to see the other Bourne movies before seeing this one. All I'm saying is that if you haven't seen the other ones and you get dragged to this one, or you end up seeing it for whatever reason, I think you can enjoy it. Now, the big thing that I noticed right away with this movie is that it is super serious. The way that it's filmed by Paul Greengrass is he uses a very handheld style, so it has a lot of shaky cam, which I wasn't a big fan of. I don't really like when the camera shakes around and everything. It kind of takes away from the action. But because it was handheld, it kind of made it more realistic, and it has a more serious tone to it, especially compared to other spy franchises like Mission Impossible. So right away I noticed that, and it was noticeable throughout the whole film. But the thing that I took away from it was, instead of being more fun like the Mission Impossible movies, it was more serious. But that lent it to be more intense. And that's what this movie was. It was super intense and super edge of your seat, white knuckle action when the action happened. For about that first half of this movie, there's not too much going on. It kind of has a lot of setup, but the second half of the movie is pure action movie awesomeness. Some really cool action scenes, some really awesome hand-to-hand combat, and an amazing car chase that really, literally dropped my jaw. I couldn't believe how much I was into that scene. That's the thing about this movie that I ended up really loving, was that it finished so strong. The beginning of the movie, I was into it, I liked what was happening, and I had no problem getting into the story, but the second half, it really shifted into another gear, and it kept getting better and better, which is awesome to see in an action movie because that means that the action keeps getting more and more intense. And that's what happened in this movie. The action was so well done, and it was so fun to watch. Even though, like I just said, it's not a very fun movie, the action was fun to watch, and that's what made it fun. You feel like you're a part of the action. And Paul Greengrass does such a great job of doing that with the camera. The actors all did such a good job performing in these roles. You could tell that Matt Damon loves being Jason Bourne, and he does a fantastic job. All the actors in this movie did a really great job. But by far the best part is, of course, Matt Damon. He kills it in this role. He does such a great job. You feel for him. Even though I haven't seen any of the other movies, I still cared about his character. You want him to succeed. You want him to stay alive. And you love watching him kick butt. And boy, oh boy, does he kick a lot of butt. And that's what I say about this movie. It kicked a lot of butt. It was a really fun action movie to watch. I'm going to go 4 out of 5 for Jason Bourne. I was really blown away by this movie. I can't wait to check out the other ones, and I hope you guys check out this one. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this and you want to see more reviews from a guy like me, Tom Waterloo, then please like and share this video. Leave a comment down below, and most importantly, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one.